In Buddhism, we said that everyone is born with ignorance. In the other word, meaning we are born without knowing what is the reality of the truth of life. We don't know where we came from, where are we going to go, what is the purpose of life. Everything that we think or believe that we know now is what we have learned later on after growing up. So the question about the truth of life has always existed alongside with the development of humanity. So the question is that how can we know that? I myself have asked these very questions the same way that everybody has been asking. What is the purpose of life? What am I doing? Why am I here? What are going to happen after I die? But it turns out that from many searches, there is only one way we can really know about these answers, by practicing ourselves until discovering the truth. And that's what we really teach in Buddhism. Buddhism actually, all the teaching in Buddhism can only compose into 4 categories. Number 1, the truth of life. Number 2, the truth or reality of the nature. Number 3, the purpose of life. And number 4, the method to reach the purpose, to achieve the purpose. So these are the 4 things that the Buddha has taught to general public and already been spreading for the last 2,500 years. For number 1, the truth of life. The truth of life is all about understanding what is happening based on reality of the world. This is what the Buddha discovered on his Night of Enlightenment, called the Four Noble Truths. And number 1 truth of life is that there is sufferings in life. Sufferings come from many reasons, coming from our own natural condition of impermanence, inconsistence, and uncontrollable. So this is actually the nature that happened to our body. That's why we are going through different changes in our life. Birth, growing old, sickness, and death. So all of this finally creates sufferings in life. And the second aspect of suffering is unable to cope with these changes of the conditions that are happening to our life. As a result, we feel the sense of sufferings or trouble. Number 2 of the truth is, the origin of the truth begins with our own mind. It's about unable to cope with the changes that is happening. It's all about clinging or lamentation about the existence that we have, or holding on to the image that we expect to achieve. For example, if you plan to have 2 adorable kids, when they are growing up and they don't behave the way you expect that they will be, then we feel sad, we feel suffer. Or when we want to have this beautiful future, secure our life with purchasing big houses, big cars. But one day when life comes into a bump and things doesn't go according to what we expect it to be, then we feel sad, we feel suffer again. So the origin of sufferings begin with our mind, begin with acceptance that this is a reality of everything. Number 3, the way for people to overcome these sufferings coming from when the mind becomes clear from this desire to have, desire to be, and desire not to be. The moment we can overcome this desire, then we finally accept the reality of our life and keep moving on one step at a time towards the purpose until reaching the number 4. Number 4 is the method to reach the absolute state of overcoming or eradication of suffering. So that's what we call the Noble Eightfold Path. So this is actually the so-called the Four Noble Truths that the Buddha has taught, and he discovered this on the night of his enlightenment. What is the reality of the truth of the world? The truth of the nature lies upon the same concept of law of natural conditioning, which are impermanence, inconsistent, and the uncontrollable. This refers to the nature of everything that we know. Buildings, house, cars, our life, our jobs, company that we work in, even this planet or even the sun, the moon. Nothing lasts forever. One day all of this will cease to exist. This is a reality of everything. Which brings the sense of number 2. Not only that it doesn't last forever, it's always changing, like our body. We're changing all the time. We're getting older, we growing up, we go smaller. As time goes by, we keep changing. Everything in our life also changing. Everything that we purchase become degrade, getting worn out. So these are the changes that happen in our life, which also connect with number 3, uncontrollable. No matter how much we try to keep things in one way, it won't be that way. We cannot keep ourselves from aging. A lot of people can go to plastic surgery, but it doesn't mean that they can reverse their age back to when they were 16 years old. Again, internal organs will not be the same. So this is only the image on the outside that people can try to control, but in reality it's not possible. Up to one point, one day, everybody will cease to exist. So this is actually the reality of the world, whether people can believe, can accept it or not. So number 3, in terms of the truth of life, is what is the purpose? The purpose of life is actually pretty simple. What people refer to nirvana is the state where the mind is completely pure from defilements or negative contamination. What is the negative contamination that manifests in our mind? These are desire in terms of greed, crave, anger, delusion, ego, whatever you name it. They are all these negative contamination that drive us into different types of negative action. They can desire more, want to have struggling attachment. So when the mind becomes clear of this, we achieve happiness. If suffering is on this side, the moment that the suffering is gone, you get happiness on the other side immediately. It's not about keep filling your life with things you can purchase, but it's about realizing the reality of things. Until number 4, the step to reach the understanding of the truth of life is based on the practice of meditation and practicing ourselves to keep the mind clear and pure until finally one day we can attain the state of nirvana or enlightenment. So that is when we really understand the truth of life. As a result of the whole thing, in conclusion, the truth of life is explained by the Lord Buddha. However, he never forced anyone to believe it. He said, prove it. Because this is something that each and every individual can attain by themselves, can reach that understanding by themselves, and the only way that we can really know about it is when we prove ourselves to different practice of meditation. And that is the only time and only way we can really know about the truth of life.